Last year, 5.2 million American drivers paid $90 or more for an oil change they did not need. Not 500,000, not 1 million, 5.2 million people, sitting in a waiting room with a cup of bad coffee, watching their car get serviced on a schedule that an oil company invented in 1950 to sell more oil. And the $3 truth that changes everything about how you think about oil changes has been buried inside automotive engineering research since before most of us were born. $3. Against the $90 to $150 you're paying every 3 months like clockwork because a sticker on your windshield told you to. They didn't hide this because it fails. They hid it because it works too well. Stay right here because what I am about to show you is going to permanently change how you think about oil changes, about your car, and about an automotive service industry that generates over $34 billion annually in the United States by keeping you on a maintenance schedule that your own car's engineering does not actually require. Let me give you the number that should make you put down whatever you are doing. The average American driver spends between $300 and $600 per year on oil changes. 4 services per year at the 3,000-mile interval that quick lube shops and dealerships push. That is the standard recommendation you see on every sticker, every reminder card, every automated text from your service shop. 4 times per year, $90 each time, $360 minimum annually. Over 10 years, that is $3,600 spent on oil changes alone. Just oil changes, not tires, not brakes, not any other service. Just the one service that the quick lube industry needs you to believe is required every 3 months, without exception. Here is what your car's actual owner manual says. Not the sticker they put on your windshield, not the reminder your dealership texts you, your owner's manual, the document written by the engineers who designed your specific engine. Most vehicles manufactured after 2010 with modern synthetic oil specify oil change intervals of between 7,500 and 15,000 miles depending on driving conditions, not 3,000 miles, 7,500 to 15,000 miles. The 3,000-mile interval is not an engineering recommendation. It is a marketing recommendation created by the quick lube industry and perpetuated by every shop that profits from your compliance with it. And most American drivers have never once opened their owner's manual to check what their car actually needs versus what the industry tells them they need. The difference between following your car's actual engineering recommendation and following the quick lube industry's marketing recommendation is between $150 and $300 per year in unnecessary oil changes. Over 10 years, that is between $1,500 and $3,000 per car that your household spent on services that your vehicle's own manufacturer did not require at that frequency. And this is where it gets more interesting, because the 3,000-mile myth is just the surface of what the automotive service industry has buried from American drivers. This channel exists to pull that buried knowledge into plain language and put it directly in your hands. We find what the industry needs you to never know. We verify it. We explain it simply. And we hand it to you for free. If you want to stop wasting money on industry lies, subscribe and hit the bell. Because the automotive service industry is one of the most profitable systems built on manufactured dependency in American life, and we are taking it apart piece by piece. Now, let me take you back to where the 3,000-mile rule actually came from, because understanding the origin story of this recommendation tells you everything you need to know about why it exists. The year is 1952. The place is a petroleum industry research conference in Houston, Texas. A group of petroleum engineers and oil company executives are discussing the problem of oil degradation in post-World War II American automobiles. The engines of that era use conventional mineral-based engine oil with relatively primitive additive packages. These oils genuinely do begin breaking down and losing their protective properties at around 3,000 miles of use in the engine environments of the early 1950s. The recommendation is technically accurate for that engine technology and that oil chemistry. An automotive lubrication researcher named Dr. Charles Brennan presents findings showing that 3,000-mile intervals adequately protect engine components in vehicles of that generation using the oils available at that time. The recommendation gets adopted by the automotive service industry and embedded into American car culture as a universal rule. It appears on stickers. It appears in service shop marketing. It becomes the standard that every quick lube chain, every dealership service department, and every independent garage communicates to every American driver for the next 70 years. Here is what the industry never updated you on. Engine technology advanced dramatically. Oil chemistry advanced even more dramatically. By 1990, modern synthetic motor oil formulations with advanced additive packages that resist thermal breakdown and oxidation at the molecular level had been developed and commercialized. These oils are chemically engineered to maintain their protective properties at operating temperature for far longer than the conventional mineral oils of 1952. The engines they protect are built to tighter tolerances with better metallurgy than the engines Dr. Brennan was studying in Houston. The 3,000-mile recommendation became obsolete for most American vehicles and most American drivers sometime around 1990. The quick lube industry knew, the oil companies knew, the automotive engineers knew, and none of them had any financial incentive to update the recommendation they were all profiting from. Your grandmother already knew this. She used it every single day. Not the synthetic oil science specifically, but the principle behind it. Her generation checked the oil dipstick before making any service decision. They looked at the oil, they felt it between their fingers. They checked the color, the viscosity, the smell. They made service decisions based on the actual condition of the oil in their specific engine, rather than following a calendar-based schedule invented by an industry that profits from the schedule. She would have thought it was insane to change perfectly good oil because a sticker said to. Now let me explain at the molecular level what actually happens to engine oil, so you understand how to read your own oil condition and make the $3 decision for yourself instead of paying $90 for someone else to make it for you on a schedule you never agreed to understand. Engine oil has two components that matter for this conversation: the base oil and the additive package. The base oil, whether conventional or synthetic, is a lubricant that reduces friction between metal engine components. The additive package is the chemistry added to the base oil that does several critical jobs. Anti-wear additives coat metal surfaces to prevent contact damage during cold starts. Detergent additives keep combustion byproducts suspended in the oil so they do not deposit on engine surfaces. Antioxidant additives prevent the base oil from reacting with oxygen at high temperatures, which would cause it to thicken and lose its flow properties. Viscosity modifiers maintain the oil's flow characteristics across the temperature range, from cold winter starts to operating temperature. At the molecular level, oil degrades when these additive packages are depleted by use. Anti-wear additives get consumed as they sacrifice themselves protecting metal surfaces. Antioxidants get depleted as they neutralize oxidation reactions. Detergents get saturated with suspended combustion particles until they can no longer hold more. When the additive package is fully depleted, the oil loses its protective properties regardless of mileage. But in a modern engine using modern synthetic oil, this depletion takes significantly longer than 3,000 miles. Much longer. And it varies by driving conditions, engine design, and oil specification. The $3 truth is a simple oil test strip. Available at any auto parts store, AutoZone, O'Reilly, Advance Auto Parts, for between $2 and $5 for a pack of 10 strips. You dip one strip into your oil for 3 seconds and compare the color change to the chart on the package. The strip measures 4 specific oil properties: antioxidant level, viscosity, total base number, which indicates remaining detergent capacity, and contamination level. In 30 seconds, you know whether your oil has a remaining protective capacity or whether it genuinely needs changing. You make the decision based on actual oil condition rather than a schedule designed by an industry that profits from maximum service frequency. This is the test that the quick lube industry cannot afford for you to know exists, because the moment you can assess your own oil condition for $3, you stop being a customer on their schedule. You become a customer who comes in when your car actually needs service. And that might be once a year instead of 4 times. On their math, that is $270 per year per customer, they are losing. If you've made it this far, you already know more than 99% of American drivers about what engine oil actually does, how it actually degrades, and why the 3,000-mile interval was designed for a 1952 engine with 1952 oil, and has been kept alive by an industry that generates $34 billion annually from your compliance with it. So here is exactly what you do. Every step, every detail. The complete $3 method that puts you in control of your own maintenance schedule for the first time. Go to any AutoZone, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Advance Auto Parts, or Walmart Automotive section. You're looking for engine oil test strips. They may be labeled as oil analysis strips, oil condition test strips, or engine oil test kit. The Korean brand and the Ravenel brand both produce accurate consumer-grade strips. A pack of 10 strips costs between $3 and $8 and gives you enough tests for 5 years of quarterly oil checks, assuming you drive an average American mileage. That is your entire investment. $3 to $8 one time versus $360 per year in unnecessary oil changes. Step 1. Check your oil at the correct time. Not immediately after driving. You need the engine to have been off for at least 5 minutes, but not more than 30 minutes. This timing gives the oil temperature to settle to a stable warm state, where viscosity readings are accurate without being so hot that the strip reacts to temperature rather than chemistry. If you check the oil stone cold in the morning, you get an inaccurate viscosity reading. If you check immediately after a long drive, the oil is too hot and the strip reaction is temperature influenced rather than condition influenced. 5 to 30 minutes after your last drive is the correct window. Step 2. Find your oil dipstick. It is a long metal rod with a brightly colored handle, usually yellow or orange, located on the engine block. Pull it out completely and wipe it clean with a lint-free cloth. Look at the clean dipstick before you reinsert it. Note the oil level marks at the bottom. When you reinsert and pull it out again, you want to check both the level and the condition of the oil showing on the dipstick. Step 3. Reinsert the dipstick fully, making sure it seats completely in the dipstick tube. Pull it out again and look at the oil on the dipstick surface. You are doing a basic visual assessment before using the test strip. Healthy oil in good condition will appear amber to light brown and translucent enough that you can see the dipstick markings through the oil film. Oil that is dark brown or black has accumulated combustion byproducts, but may still have remaining additive capacity. Oil that is opaque black and feels gritty between your fingers has been contaminated and needs changing regardless of mileage. Oil that appears milky or has a gray foamy texture has been contaminated with coolant, which indicates a different mechanical problem that needs professional diagnosis. Step 4. Take your oil condition test strip and dip it into the oil on the end of the dipstick for exactly 3 seconds. Remove the strips and hold it horizontally, not vertically, for 60 seconds while the color reactions develop. Do not wipe the strip. Do not shake excess oil off. Just hold it flat and let the chemistry work for the full 60-second development time. Step 5. Compare your strip to the reference chart on the package after 60 seconds. You are looking at 4 color indicators. The antioxidant pad shows remaining antioxidant capacity. Green or yellow means significant remaining life. Brown or gray means depletion approaching or reached. The viscosity pad shows whether the oil has thickened or thinned beyond specification. The total base number pad shows remaining detergent capacity. The contamination pad shows the level of combustion byproduct accumulation. If all 4 indicators show within acceptable ranges, your oil has remaining protective capacity and does not need changing regardless of what mileage or calendar interval the sticker on your windshield says. Drive another 1,000 to 2,000 miles and test again. If any indicator shows depletion or out of range condition, your oil genuinely needs changing and you should change it within the next 500 miles. This is how you turn a $90 decision into a $3 decision, by gathering actual data about your actual oil condition in your actual engine, rather than following a universal schedule invented for a different era of technology. For additional context on your specific vehicle, find your owner's manual. It is in your glove compartment or available free as a PDF download by searching your vehicle year, make, model, and owner's manual. Look for the section labeled Recommended Maintenance Intervals or Engine Oil Specifications. Find the oil change interval recommendation for normal driving conditions and for severe driving conditions. Severe driving conditions include frequent short trips under 5 miles, stop and go city driving, extreme temperature environments, and frequent trailer towing. If your driving does not meet the severe conditions definition, you use the normal interval, which is almost always longer than 3,000 miles for any vehicle manufactured after 2000 using modern oil specifications. The difference between following the actual engineering recommendation and following the marketing recommendation for a driver who puts 15,000 miles per year on their vehicle works out to between 1 and 3 fewer oil changes per year. At $90 per service, that is between $90 and $270 per year, staying in your wallet instead of going to the quick lube industry. Over a 5-year period, that is between $450 and $1,350 per vehicle, for simply reading your owner's manual and checking your own oil condition with a $3 test strip instead of following a windshield sticker that was designed by people who profit from your compliance. The automotive service industry in America generates $34 billion annually. The quick lube segment alone, the Jiffy Lubes and Valvolines and dealership service departments that depend on high-frequency oil change volume, generates a significant portion of that revenue. Their business model requires you to believe that 3,000 miles is a universal engineering truth, rather than a profitable marketing convention from 1952. They train their service advisors to communicate this schedule with the confidence of authority. They put the sticker on your windshield before you leave, so the reminder is always visible. They send automated text reminders. They call it a safety interval. They call it protecting your engine. And they count on the fact that questioning the interval feels like taking a risk with an asset that costs $20,000 to $50,000 to replace. You're not taking a risk by testing your own oil condition. You are doing exactly what the engineers who designed your engine intended for you to do. Check the oil. Assess the condition. Service when service is indicated. The $3 test strip is the tool that makes that assessment objective rather than guesswork. And it permanently removes the quick lube industry from the equation for every oil change decision you make for the rest of your driving life. Dr. Charles Brennan presented accurate research in Houston in 1952 for the technology of his era. The industry took that research and froze it permanently as universal truth, while technology advanced around it for 70 years. Your grandmother checked her oil the way her generation checked everything, by looking at it, by touching it, by making an informed decision based on actual condition rather than a schedule. You do the same thing with a $3 strip that gives you the data she had to assess by experience. Now here's what I need from you before you close this video. Think about one driver in your life right now who just got a reminder text from their service shop. Someone who is about to pay $90 for an oil change because a sticker told them to. Someone who has never once checked whether that service is actually indicated by their oil condition or their owner's manual recommendation. Send them this video today, right now, before you scroll somewhere else. Because every share keeps alive what the industry tried to erase. The truth about oil change intervals has been available in every owner's manual ever printed. The $3 test strip has been available at every auto parts store. The only thing keeping millions of American drivers on a $90 quarterly schedule was never knowing these two things existed. That ends today for everyone watching this video.